introduce the cast. This is Jim Lunsford, our wonderful dramaturg and stage direction. William Duffey plays Otto. Joseph, what's your last name?
Perfect.
Who plays Hans. Denah Angel is the playwright, and she plays Mary. Tamika, yes, is Delaney, and Sophie is Anna.
An Era, a play inspired by real events by Denah Angel. Cast of characters. Mary Sheenas, Greek woman, late 30s. Hans, Nazi soldier, 30s. Eleni Sheenas, Greek woman, late 30s, Mary's sister. Anastasia Sheenas, Anna, Greek woman, 15 to 16, Mary's daughter. Otto, Hans's Nazi commanding officer, 40s, 50s. Time, 1943. Settings, various rooms in the Nazi-occupied Sheena's house, including the entry room, the kitchen dining room, the Nazi-occupied master bedroom, the one room designated for the Sheena's women, and Otto's base camp. Act 1, Scene 1. Early evening, the Sheena's kitchen dining area. Mary is meticulously chopping vegetables with a dagger at a small counter next to the stove. There is a simmering pot of water next to her that she tosses vegetables in. Eleni sits on a rocking chair with a cup of tea, staring out of a window. There are blankets covering her legs. Anastasia, Anna, casually sets the dining table. Anna takes a cloth napkin from one of the table settings, covers her face up to her eyes like a mask. She saunters over to Eleni.
I heard in Italy their masquerade balls where men and women dress up in beautiful costumes and pretend they are entirely different from themselves. A farm girl could be a princess, a count could be a soldier, and the two could fall in love for a night.
Anna twirls around her aunt and gives her a kiss on the head.
And what would you be at one of those balls, my dear?
Mary is noticeably annoyed that Eleni is encouraging Anna. Then Anna gets excited by an idea.
I would be a cat. Cats are silent. I would walk around undetected, listening to everyone's conversations. Until I found one that is interesting. Then I would just appear and captivate everyone.
That is enough, Anastasia. Finish setting the table. Do not encourage her.
Let the girl fantasize for fun, Mary. God knows we did.
A lot of good that did us. Italians. They are part of the reason we are here.
Anna, continuing the charade, saunters over to Mary like a cat.
They are not making you slave away in the kitchen.
Anna playfully pounces on Mary like a cat. Mary slams the knife down, startling Anna and Eleni.
You are lucky to have anything to eat at all. It is not safe for a young girl outside of this house, nor for a convalescent. A Greek woman cannot walk to the market for fruit or vegetables, nor to a bakery for fresh bread, if such a luxury still exists in our country. That tea you drink, Eleni, that calms your mind. Do you too take that for granted? What we are provided is the best there is while this war endures.
And where do these luxuries that we are provided come from, Mary?
That is not our concern.
You chop his vegetables and make his stew, but seem to not think of whose pot is empty because yours is full.
Mary tosses the last of the vegetables into the pot and wipes her hands.
Anna, before the Italians and their masquerades, there were our people, the Greeks. Our forebears wore their costume not disguised as parties, but performing on stage for all people to see. Demokratia, democracy.
Another Greek creation.
Exactly. Where all citizens had rights in society. We may not live in that cultural golden age, but we do carry our ancestors' blood within us. So when a group of people try to take away our life, they are threatening our history.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. These luxuries are threatening our history.
It is not so simple. It's our duty as Greeks to survive. to maintain our people's legacy. So when a man comes to us and offers us a lifeline, be it a Nazi, we must take it. But before you pass further judgment, know that I have a plan. Like your little masquerades, its true intentions are meant to be concealed.
Mary gives a hardened look at Eleni. Eleni breaks eye contact and looks back out the window. Mary looks back to Anna, who's now folding the napkin she was using as a mask. They live in a few beats of silence until...
Does Papa know of this plan?
Of course he does.
Then why does he not come here to help us? Or bring us to America?
You know why, Anastasia. He is off, fighting with the Americans for our freedom. He is a brave man, your father. Even though he is not here, he loves you very much. I tell him in my letters how brave you are, and he's very proud. We will all be together soon.
And what does he say in return?
Be patient. We are in a time of war. You must trust me.
At the end of every letter, I always ask Papa to please tell me what to do to leave this place. I promise to follow orders exactly as he says, but he's never written back.
He will.
Has he forgotten about us?
Anna, would you go to the bedroom and get me a lighter blanket? My legs are beginning to feel restless.
Yes, yeah.
Anna exits the room. Once she is out of earshot, the lady looks back at Mary, who is busying herself at the stove.
You need to tell her the truth, Mary.
What good will that do?
She's not a little girl anymore.
She is still a young girl. And young girls need to believe that their father will protect them.
How is that a fantasy, Mary? Do you not remember our childhood?
Of course, I do.
Then do you remember our father? Relegated me to be his live-in maid, too superstitious to have me seen outside of our home. And he married you off to his friend Vasilis.
Vasilis loves Anna, and he will fulfill his duty and come back for us.
Don't be foolish. He left you and Anna. How long has it been? All these days stuck in this house. I'll bet you've lost track.
There are many things you do not understand about relationships.
Anna re-enters the room, holding the lighter blanket. She observes the tension between her mother and her aunt. Mary goes back to cooking. Eleni stares out of the window. Anna crosses to Eleni and replaces the blanket.
Thank you.
Anna reaches into her dress pocket and produces a letter. She holds it up and extends it to Mary.
Here. I know who will respond to this one.
Mary takes the letter.
It's sealed. You've never sealed a letter before giving it to me.
It's not for you, it's for Father.
Anna, the mail is not safe. There is always a chance the Nazis will see it. You could be putting your father at great risk if there's something in here that should not be known.
I miss Papa.
Mary looks at Eleni at a loss. Eleni gets up slowly and goes over to Anna and embraces her. They sit together at the table.
There is nothing you did wrong, my dear. Your mother only wishes to keep us all safe. She knows you would never do anything to hurt your father.
Outside, there is a humming, upbeat singing in German from Hans.
He's early. Quick, Anna, help Elena get to the bedroom and stay there until he leaves.
Anna helps Eleni up and they start for the bedroom door. Mary quickly pockets Anna's letter in her apron. She looks at herself in a small mirror hanging by the front door. She fixes her hair and dusts off her apron. She's about to open the door when it bursts open. Hans, in his Nazi uniform, enters the room. Mary, Eleni, and Anna freeze where they are. Hans walks around, surveying the scene. He walks over to the stove and smells what is cooking in the pot. He walks around to the table.
I see 2 bowls, but there are now 4 of us. Who is to go hungry?
They were just leaving.
And what kind of master of the house would that make me? I may be in a uniform, but I'm not barbarian. I respect all guests in my home.
This is not your home.
Anna,
It's quite all right, Mary. I see your daughter has developed a sharp tongue. I will make sure she knows where to properly direct it. It's been a while since I've seen all of you in the same room, but perhaps this too is my good fortune. You see, I've just received a battlefield promotion. Do you know what that is, my dear?
Anna shakes her head no. Eleni holds her closer for protection.
A battlefield promotion is an elevation of rank during wartime. The Wehrmacht has been so impressed by my work in Kaliningrad that they have made me Generalleutnant, in charge of this territory. So perhaps we should all sit down to celebrate my accomplishment in my house that allows such delicate women to live.
The women stand frozen.
Sit. Setzt euch. Sit.
Eleni and Anna move slowly to sit at the table.
Very good. Mary, get 2 more bowls for your sister and daughter.
Mary does as she's told, while Hans makes himself comfortable by taking off his jacket and rolling up his sleeves. Mary brings the pot and ladle over and places it at the center of the table. Hans takes a loaf of bread from his bag and takes a seat at the head of the table.
The knife I gave you. Please.
Mary stands up and gets his knife from the kitchen. Hans's back is turned, and it's not lost on Eleni and Anna that Mary could attempt to stab Hans right now. The moment passes. She takes her seat at the table and hands Hans the knife.
Thank you.
Hans begins to cut slices of bread for each of the women and himself.
It is easy to forget the simple pleasures in life during wartime. We take for granted a meal shared among friends. Why not say a proper grace to mark the occasion? I've always thought that food tastes better when it's been blessed.
Hans puts the knife down and takes Mary's hand. He stares into her eyes for a charge to beat.
Mary, will you say your customary Greek Christian blessing?
Mary reluctantly nods and takes Anna's hand, sitting across from her. Anna takes Eleni's hand next. Hans extends his hand to Eleni. Eleni takes it.
Christ our God, bless the food and drink of your servants, for you are holy always, now and forever, and to the ages of ages. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And as is custom before meals in Germany and all of the German Empire, Heiligla. Are you not grateful for this blessed food and drink that you have been provided now and forever under the grace of the Führer? Very well. Anna, perhaps it's time I teach you the proper German customs, which will serve you well in this new world that we're building.
Heil Hitler.
Mary stares at Hans and places their embraced hands down on the table. It's almost sensual.
I speak it for the household.
Hans is clearly struck by Mary's confidence and fortitude, but only for a moment. He lets go of her and Eleni's hand.
And now, in the name of the Führer, we feast.
The same day, later in the evening, the Sheena's kitchen. Mary is alone washing dishes after the meal. She dries her hands on her apron and feels something in its pocket. She takes it out and reveals Anna's letter. Panic washes over her face. She looks back to make sure she's still alone. She throws the letter in a small garbage pail and quickly picks it up and moves to the front door. She opens the door and exits with the garbage pail. While she is out, Hans enters from the other side of the room, drying his hands with a towel. He looks around, curious, but perhaps with a hint of fear in his eyes. Mary enters hurriedly with an empty garbage pail. She and Hans stare at each other awkwardly.
What were you doing?
Freeing a butterfly.
With a garbage pail.
It flew in to eat the remains of the fruit you brought us. Our garbage is probably the only one in the region with such discarded luxuries, thanks to you. How lucky she must have felt to happen upon such a treasure trove. But you know it's bad luck to kill them. They're not meant to be indoors, and some believe they are spirits
Of those who are departed.
Yes.
My mother used to say that.
Oh,
Not that you're like my mutter. She passed when I was very little.
sorry to hear that.
I used to shout at the butterflies, angry at her for leaving me. Crazy what grief will do. Filling my mind with ideas that a butterfly is someone I loved. But I believed it. Not because it was logical, but because I wanted to believe a lie. To make it seem like we could still have a connection.
You don't believe that anymore?
You don't have a husband.
I do. What makes you say that?
There is no sign of a man in this household. No clothes. You're not in morning clothes.
That is because he is alive. Why are you saying that now?
Perhaps it was something you put in the stew that's made me curious.
Hans steps closer to Mary, a charged energy between them. Mary turns back to the sink.
Nothing more than vegetables and lentils that you brought us?
Mary resumes washing dishes. Hans steps closer, allowing only inches between them.
And why do you think I bring such things?
Mary allows herself a moment to experience the intimacy, but quickly breaks away.
To keep 3 women safe in the time of war. As you said when your army first took over our village, because you are a soldier, not without compassion, unlike some of your comrades.
Yes, and that remains true. But I sense a change between us.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hans walks to a small side table with a few framed photographs displayed. He takes one in his hands. It's a photograph of Mary, her husband, Vasilis, and Anna.
A house is nothing more than a few walls held up by a bit of brick and plaster. It remains that way until the people living inside share a bond that makes them whole. Then the house becomes a home.
Hans hands Mary the photo of her family and stands behind her,
This
looking
man,
over her shoulder, forcing her to look at it.
this man, who looks like your father, quite frankly, left 3 women on their own. This house has not been a home for some time. I see in your eyes that you want to change that.
Mary sets the photo face down on the kitchen counter. She turns and looks straight at Hans.
My eyes see loneliness that has been masked by a uniform and a gun. My eyes see a young man who thinks a home is something he can take and hold together by force. That is no more a foundation of a home than the bricks that you say hold up its wall. A family is what makes up a home. Just because one is not whole temporarily does not change the generations of family who lived before it. It does not open itself to outsiders, no matter how desperate one is to be a part of it.
Mary takes the photo and puts it back on the mantel.
You confuse desperation for opportunity, which is what I have given you, your sister, and your daughter.
After you have taken everything away, you think because you have bring us food that you nourish us, because you call on us, you keep us safe. We are prisoners in your little experiment.
Was it better when your husband was here? The men in your country have been involved since antiquity. This experiment, as you say, is an opportunity for you to see how good your life could be when we win this war. And this is just the beginning.
You really are a good soldier. To believe so blindly such ideological nonsense, you are confining us women to roles which you define as a good life. But I want more for myself, my sister, and my daughter.
Women are essential to our future, of course. A family with many children will make our nation strong for generations.
That is what you're preparing here? A breeding ground?
If that was my intention, you'd have already been well aware.
Hans moves closer to her.
But you're much more than that. I am captivated by you. Mary, you fear nothing. You protect everything. You yearn for something more.
I yearn for peace.
And what would that look like to you?
What would that look like to me?
Is asking for your opinion such a shock?
No. Peace is freedom. It is allowing everyone the freedom to do and be what they want.
Yeah, that sounds to me like chaos. The world, humanity needs order, and that's what the new regime will bring. You're special, Mary, and so am I. Your luck is about to change. I will take care of you. Come here.
I'd rather rest.
That's not true, and I will not ask again.
Mary moves toward him. He takes his hands and moves them all around the outlines of her body. She eventually gives in to the pleasurable sensation of being lovingly touched for the first time. She takes his hand, places it on her cheek. He drags it to her lips and pulls her in for a kiss. Scene 3 the next morning. The one bedroom relegated to the women in the Sheena's house. Anna is taking wildflowers and scraping them on the walls in order to create a semblance of a painting. Eleni enters and sits next to her. Anna takes a little of a purple one and places it on her finger.
Close your eyes, Thea.
Eleni does this, and Anna places her finger with the color on Eleni's eyelids.
There. Now you look like a powerful goddess.
I am Gaia. Those wildflowers wouldn't grow without my power. I am the mother of the earth, trees, and flowers. Ha!
Then I will be a wildflower so you can always be the mother of me.
Anna leans her head on her arms.
Well, of course I am, Anu.
Eleni kisses the top of Anna's head.
Did you ever want a family?
You are my family.
I mean of your own.
Yes and no, but I will always feel thankful to have you.
She walks over to Anna's bed and grabs a doll and starts to sing a Greek lullaby. Anna grabs the doll, throws it back on the bed.
I'm too old for that now, Thea. Let's sing a romance.
Eleni starts singing Samiotisa, a romantic song of longing.
Samiotisa, Samiotisa.
Anna drops the doll and pulls her dress tighter around to show off her figure and dances with her little hips. More exploratory than good, but starting to feel herself. After a bit of this, they break.
Well, look at you. We will have to refit all your dresses now that you have grown out of a girlish style.
You understand me, Thea, better than my mother. I want a lower neckline, of course. And perfume. Or what I would give to smell like those beautiful rose or jasmine. I remember when Papa brought Mom a rose water from Africa. She smelled glorious. She doesn't see me like anything more than a child. I see her looking at my figure, almost in disgust.
It would be fear more than disgust.
Why would she be afraid of me?
Not of you, my love. The world. I will always tell you the truth. And the truth is, your mother is a complicated woman.
And she always has been. She never played with me when I was young, and now she will not celebrate my maturity.
Here, I will.
Eleni goes back to the flowers and grabs some pink petals.
A little on your cheek, lips, and presto! You are ready for a ball.
Meow.
Eleni brings Anna in for another embrace.
You will become a beautiful and strong woman, Anna. But there is still time. And you will always be my little girl.
Until I am a woman.
Yes, and then you will be my woman.
And you, my real mother.
Scene 4, the same day. The Nazi base camp outside of Kaliningrad. Otto, Hans's commanding officer, is sitting at a desk reviewing maps and plans. Hans enters. They salute.
Hi, Hitler.
Herr Littler,
Prestige.
Hans obeys.
Look strong. Rested.
Dankeschön, Herr General.
So, how you fancy your new rank as a Guraluten?
I thank you for the honor, Herr General. I find myself well suited for the responsibility. My men respect my leadership and show me obedience in the field. We've just taken Kaliningrad, as you well know.
Ah, yes. Kaliningrad. A farming town. Not really a threat.
No, Herr General.
But your next assignment will prove more difficult. You'll be in the
I
town.
should say not an obvious threat, Herr General. My reconnaissance has shown that it could become a thoroughfare for spies trying to cross into Italian-controlled territory, and we can't be certain yet if it's clear of civilians harboring fugitives.
Need I remind you not to interrupt your commanding officer when he is speaking?
I'm sorry, Otto. Herr General.
You're lucky. My family was friendly with your mother. She died young. not able to bear witness to the glories that our country has achieved. But you'll be an important part of it, Hans, when we transition from conquerors to rulers. That is, if you show me the same obedience that you say your men have shown you in Karavan.
Jawohl, Herr General.
Good.
Otto looks over his maps again.
So, what makes you think the city could become thoroughfare for the infidels?
Its mountain terrain is good for hiding, and it is only 30 kilometers from the Gulf of Corinth, which, of course, is a short boat ride away from British-controlled Middle East territory. A fugitive could escape the country in less than a day if provided with proper transport.
Disgusting thought. This is very perceptive, Hans. Our father, he must have been very smart, though we can't say for sure because he didn't stay long for us to find out. But still, it is well documented that the intelligence gene comes through the male line. I will give you 3 days to patrol the area of the city or neighboring region, weed out the fugitives that may be hiding there. You will send communication twice daily with your findings. How many men will you need?
None, Herr General.
Ha! None.
I fear that if we patrol with a large group, we will be easier to spot by a fugitive. But if it's just me, I can disguise my appearance and use an element of surprise on an unsuspecting infidel.
It's not very traditional, but this Greek country, mystics, ancient nooks and crannies. There are not enough books in my library to understand the Greeks and their superstitions.
It's quite an impressive library.
Oh, this? Yeah, this is nothing. I've secured volumes of books from antiquities onward, like a respectable learned man.
I hope to be as well read as Herr General someday.
Now, we are the only ones writing the history that matters. These are kindling. The one that burns the lives.
I will make the Reich and the Führer proud, Herr General.
I have no doubt that this is your intention.
Otto begins to stand. Hans quickly gets up, making sure he stands before Otto. Otto moves to his bookshelf and makes a selection.
But since you yearn for knowledge, why not take this book on Greek mythology with you while you canvass the countryside? Perhaps it will help you weed out more of the infidels, you better understand them and their silly gods.
Otto hands Hans the book.
Thank you. I will learn much because of you, Herr General.
Hans makes the Nazi salute. Otto salutes back.
One more thing before you leave.
Jawohl, Herr General.
We found the mother and son hiding in the cave south of the village. The son will make a good soldier one day, but we need obedience. A displayed execution of the mother is necessary. You get this?
No problem, Herr General.
They are expecting you out back. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Hans begins to exit.
And Hans,
Hans makes an about face and looks straight at Otto.
if you find nothing, if you prove to have wasted my time, you can be sure I will serve you a demotion appropriate for a bastard such as yourself.
The two men stare at each other. A smile from Otto, a blank stare from Hans. Knowing his place, Hans bows and exits the room. Otto sits down and looks over his map once again.
Karavat. What could be so important to a bastard in Karavat?
Scene 5. Dusk, the same day. The kitchen in the Sheena's house. Hans enters the house, distraught, emotional, trying to suppress his emotions. Seeing that no one is there, he grabs a towel and allows himself to wail into it. Mary comes in from the adjoining door and sees Hans crying into the towel. Hans looks up and sees Mary. Mary notices that there is blood on the towel and on his face. Vulnerable, Hans goes into officer mode.
Get out.
Mary starts to leave, takes a breath, then turns back and steps towards him.
You're hurt?
I said get out here now. This is an order.
Mary continues moving towards him, looks at his face. They look at each other in the eyes, deeply connected.
Let me see.
She touches his face, he winces. She takes the towel he was crying in. He then takes her hand.
Here you are, once again, defying my orders.
You're bleeding.
It is not my blood.
Let me help you clean it.
Did you hear what I said? It is not my blood.
I understand.
Why aren't you afraid?
Why are you?
You don't listen to my words, but you want to help heal my body.
He takes her hand and puts it on his body.
Heal me like this.
She freezes, suddenly scared and weak.
No. I did not mean this. No.
He grabs her, kissing her. She tenses, then kisses back, then pulls away.
No, I am saying no this time.
He lifts her dress.
This body is saying yes.
No. Please, no.
I will make you say yes. You want this.
Mary doesn't say anything, but is kissing Hans back.
Say yes.
Mary starts taking charge. She gets on top of him.
Now I am in charge, yes? And you will not stop me from doing anything I want.
You ask too much.
Say yes.
Kissing him and completely in control, she pulls the back of his hair so they are staring in each other's eyes.
Yes.
Yes. Good.
A few more beats of passion and Mary pulls away.
This cannot last, you know.
I don't care.
What a luxury to not care, to not feel the weight of responsibility. When your army moves on, when you get called back to Berlin, then what? I will not be your concubine. I'd rather die.
You're so much more.
I know what I am. So show me what I am to you.
Mary pushes Hans back to a chair. Hans sits. Mary stands over him.
Tell me how.
Take me away from here. And the girls. If this is what you want, you must find a way.
Mary straddles Hans.
This is what you want?
Yes.
Find a way.
He whispers in her ear.
I will.
Scene 6. The next day. The one bedroom relegated to the women in the Sheena's house. Anna is going through Mary's clothes. She finds her wedding dress and holds it up to herself. She crosses the room and looks around to make sure no one is watching her. She begins changing into the dress. It falls a little flat on her chest, so she starts stuffing the top with socks, camisoles, anything to give herself more of a shape. Mary walks in on this.
It almost fits.
You are trying my patience.
But you just walked in here. How can you already be impatient with me?
Do you know how dangerous this is to flaunt our possessions?
It's just a dress.
And what do you have in here?
She approaches Anna and starts taking the stuffing out of the dress. As she does this, Anna pulls back and the dress rips, and the jewelry that was sewn into the dress falls out.
I didn't know.
You weren't supposed to know. I am protecting you.
I'm sorry, Mama.
Mary ignores her and picks up the jewelry and stuffing from the dress.
I said I am sorry, Mama. I know how much this dress means to you.
I should have planted more rue.
I said I am sorry and you were talking about plants.
Rue is not just a plant. It's a symbol to ward off the evil eye. I wanted to plant more, something a married couple should do when they move into their new house. But your father said I was stuck in old Southern superstitious ways. Look where we are now. Look at this omen.
Do you think Papa's alright? Do you think something happened to him? Has he responded to my letter?
Papa, you are always so worried about your papa. Anna, worry about yourself. I didn't plant more rue because that is the place for women's desires, to follow the man's instructions. I am trying every day to show you that
She pulls the rest of the dress off Anna.
these aspirations will take away your freedom.
She looks at Anna's body and her undergarments, analyzing the changes in her daughter.
Freedom from what? From your life? From me?
Look at your figure. These base desires are taking over, but you must fight them, Anna, and think beyond pleasing a man and please yourself.
You didn't answer my question.
About what?
Is Papa alright? Have you heard from him? My letter!
Anna, I don't have time for this.
We are here together every day. All we have is time. Then go on. I will find a way to Papa.
I am finding the way. Now please, clean this up and take it out to the garbage.
Anna begins cleaning up the mess from the dress.
Maybe you have already found your way, but it does not include me at the end. Perhaps you prefer it to be with your Nazi.
Mary stares at Anna. Anna does not look at Mary and continues cleaning up. Mary wants to say something but cannot. Anna places the stuffing in the garbage pail and leaves. Scene 7, that night. The master bedroom, now Hans's room in the Sheena's house. Mary and Hans are in an embrace and cuddling.
I should have been born Greek.
You should have been born rich.
Yes, that has proven to be my Achilles heel. Yes, that has proven to be my Achilles heel my whole life.
What do you know of Achilles?
Hans goes over to his bag and pulls out the Greek mythology book that was given to him by Otto.
My general is a very learned man. He attended gymnasium, a luxury I was never afforded. But he sees there's a potential in me, so he gave me this.
Hans hands the book to Mary.
A book of your Greek mythology, to better understand the people we have conquered.
Mary pages through the book.
I will teach you something about Greek people. We are the original conquerors. We already know how this will end. You may be here now, but eventually only Greeks will remain. This isn't written in Greek, it's German.
Translated, of course. I've been lucky to learn English in the army, but that's all of the linguistics for me. You should learn German.
You won't be here long enough for it to be worth my time.
Mary hands back the book. Hans sits next to her and puts the book in her lap.
It is my gift to you. Hearing my native tongue come from your mouth would sound like the sirens calling out to Odysseus.
Mary gets up and leaves the book next to Hans.
You need to keep reading.
Yes, but there are still so many things about you that I don't know.
Why would you want to?
Because you are my Psyche, and I am your Eros.
If I am this goddess, then I must encounter trials and tribulations for us to be together.
If we are realistic about our circumstances, yes, but live through this and you will be immortalized.
They kiss, and Mary pulls away.
And to whom are you suggesting I go through immortality with? You? In truth, there's less that I know about you than you know of me.
Let's not let rational ruin our immortal tale of love and lust in our very own Elysium. You are beautiful. You notice? Of course you do, or you would not move through this house like you still own it.
I do still own it.
Like mother, like daughter.
Do not speak about my daughter.
Mary, I didn't mean anything untoward. I admire the way you're both bold in your protectiveness of what you own, myself included. In this house, for the moment, in this world we created, because when our feet...
He lifts her up, lays her on the bed, and starts touching her feet.
Your beautiful, soft, delicate feet and my army boots step outside this house. I can take anything, wherever, whatever, and whoever I want.
And when will you take us away? Outside of this house?
In time. But right now, in this house, it is only you that I want. And I will take ownership of that right now, and you will not stop me.
They kiss passionately. Scene 8. Moments later in the one bedroom relegated to the women in the Sheena's house. The sound of Mary and Hans' suppressed laughter can be heard. It's the middle of the night, and there is an offstage good night from Mary. Mary enters the ladies' single bedroom. Anna is clearly asleep, and Delaney is lying in bed with her eyes open.
You think you are a hero. You startled me. You think you deserve a badge of honor.
Go to sleep, Eleni.
That was laughing I heard. What are you doing?
Saving your life.
Don't you say that to me.
You would be dead.
Better that than this excuse of responsibility of yours. You will not and have not addressed the unhappiness in your life.
Shh! Be quiet. Anna is right there.
Exactly. There is nothing more than this, Mary. This is it. This is our life. This is the end of our life. We no longer need to ask the questions will we survive or when will we die? It is all answered here in this hell. You choose to stay in with your daughter, not me.
Do you think I am happy here? Do you think I had a choice? If I didn't stay and take care of you, no one would. No one wanted to care for you. You should be thanking me every day.
I am a woman, and I can care for myself. You have used me as a self-imposed burden.
But you are more than a burden, Eleni. You are another cage, limiting me.
Mary, this is not real. Whatever you are doing with this Nazi or what life you two think you are living is not real. It is a disturbed dimension for two sick people.
Maybe I'm sick too, Eleni. Is that what you want me to say? You're not the only one who's sick? Fine. I was a child when I was married off to Vasilis. A child.
At least you were married. You've been treated like a woman.
Eleni, you are so self-minded. Don't you understand what I'm saying to you? I was a child on his age and expected to be in service to a man's need at any time, whether I wanted to or not. That's what I'm telling you. It's not love. It's not pleasure. It's duty.
What do you call this? Our sacrifice for your pleasure?
Oh, I don't want this. I don't want these conversations anymore. I don't want to be tethered to you anymore.
Tethered. Isn't it more simple, Mary? We don't want to know each other anymore. We don't want to think about why one of us is doing something because we have already lived through all of our feelings there are to have for each other. And the feelings are no longer fair to feel. Just say it. We don't want to be in each other's lives anymore.
You're right.
I know. And we are in an impossible situation for another solution. You have a daughter, Mary, who needs you more than I do, who you need to end this for, not for me, not for yourself, not for the little girl who endured what you are telling me. Anna can actually have a better life than both of us. Why don't you care for her?
You are better to her than me. We both know this. How many times do you need to hear it? I have taken care of you. I have given you someone to take care of. And for this, I just want more time.
We all want things we can't have.
Look at you. Even in the dissolution of our relationship, you have to make it more hurtful. Why, Eleni? Why be so bitter? So mean? What do you want?
What do I want? It sounds like another language when I say it out loud. What I want and what I can have are worlds apart. This waking life feels like a punishment. I get my happiness when my mind leaves my experience here on earth. In my daydreams, in my sleeping dreams, I feel alive. I get to live without illness, without pain, without confusion of where I am. I live to dream. My life already feels so long like a god, immortal who cannot die but is punished every day with pain.
Prometheus.
Yes. And like the fire and civilization he gave to the mortals, I gave you your motherhood back. Protected your child, and you don't deserve it. Living and experiencing no control over my mind, my body when I am shaking or suspended with no thoughts or memory of the moment before feels like an eternal curse. How long must I be tortured in this life that doesn't feel like my own? You have lived many lives with choice and freedom. The pangs of jealousy are impossible to endure. You are never satisfied with what you have, even for a moment of possession of my mind when the moment comes to overtake my life. I would give anything. And you complain and you mope, and you make me mad, angry, mad, crazy. The loneliness of not having a companion, a lover. I am alive, but I do not live. Maria, I am so deeply hurt. And we are stuck with each other. And you do nothing. I mean, do something because you can. Be the same or suffer with me. I don't care. But do something with your real life so I can have a friend. What I want and what I can have are not the same. Just like you.
Your affliction is your own. It is painful to hear, but it is not mine. And I will not suffer with you, Eleni, but I suffer for you. I want love that I can make sense of, not love I am expected to perform.
You are not worthy of true love.
When this is all through, I will never speak to you again.
I will drink from the river Lethe to obliterate any memory of you.
I'll give you your peace. Go to sleep.
Act 2, Scene 1, daytime, the Nazi base camp outside of Calabrata. Otto is eating a meal with a fork and a knife, meticulously cutting his steak. Hans enters.
Herr Liedler,
Hitler.
I did not mean to disrupt your lunch.
No, it's no trouble. Listen.
Jawohl,
Have you eaten today?
jawohl.
Surprising. You look thinner than 5 days ago.
When I was coming back, Herr General, I had to intervene a group of militants. I stayed a little longer to make sure there were no others. I trust you received my communication of such activity?
No. The second lieutenant must not have deemed it a priority to my daily briefing, so I have other ways of keeping track of everyone under my command. But I want to hear from you, these militants. How did you punish them?
I used my knife, Herr General.
Vulgar way of elimination. No civility in that. See, in my time, only the best enlisted in the army. The kings on the front line in raids before the wars even broke out. You are lucky to be fighting alongside men of my caliber in any capacity. I am curious, though. Let me see it.
Herr General,
Do I need to speak in Greek to you now? Let me see the knife.
Hans produces the knife and hands it to Otto. Otto inspects the knife. He smells the blade.
It's much cleaner than I thought it would have never expected. Perhaps they have very good washrooms on the countryside, yeah? Still, I can't help but detect a tinge of root vegetable. This is odd.
I give it a thorough cleaning after it's used.
Ah, yes, like a good soldier.
Otto gets up from behind his desk. Hans gets up, but Otto motions for him to sit down. Otto stands in front of the sitting Hans, still holding the knife.
Tell me, when you slain the first militant, did you stab him in the throat?
Otto extends the knife so it almost touches Hans's throat. Hans does not react. Otto walks around to the back of Hans.
Or perhaps it was the back.
Otto lightly holds the tip of the knife at Hans's back.
It was the stomach, Herr General.
Otto takes the blade away from the back of Hans. He inspects the knife again.
It was good. The stomach. Ah, how barbaric. The smell of the root vegetable. That was the scent of the villagers' last meal.
Otto walks back in front of Hans. He hands Hans the knife.
So will not be late again. Do you understand?
Otto walks over to his bookshelf.
You know, I was wrong about you, Hans. You show promise, yes, but not of an educated nature. I would trust you to kill a man, but you could not write a treatise to extinguish his race. You see the difference, yeah? It's nothing to be ashamed of. We all play our roles. But I will ask you now to give me back my book.
Your book?
Yes, the one from my library, of the Greeks, the mythologies.
Aren't they used for kindling?
What they're used for is none of your concerns. These are my books, and I don't want them wasted in the hands of some barbarian.
Hans stands, trying to subdue his anger.
Jawohl, Herr General.
Oh, I can see you are cross. It's to be expected. Our father could never control his temper either. But see, the difference is that you have a wall to which to take out your aggression. And as such, it makes a good soldier. And a fine soldier, like yourself, serves a good meal. Sit.
Hans sits and Otto hands Hans his own plate.
Here. You are welcome to my scraps.
Danke, Herr General.
Hans reluctantly begins eating. Otto watches amused.
Hans, just out of curiosity, where is the book?
Kalibrata.
Alibrata. Just make sure that you don't stay too long the next time and that truly nothing remains.
Hans puts his last bite down, stands to exit.
Understood. Auf Wiedersehen.
Otto motions for Hans to keep eating.
It would be foolish to deny a kindness when offered to you from me. Please.
Otto continues to watch as Hans sits back down to keep eating. Scene 2, the same day, in the one room relegated to the women. Anna and Mary are in their bedroom. Mary is trying to read from the Greek mythology book from Hans. She is intense, lost, and not acknowledging the precious moments she could be spending connecting to her daughter. Anna takes some of the daisy chain she has been working on and gently places it on her mother's head. As if bees were swarming, Mary swats her away and inadvertently strikes her hand. Anna pulls back, feeling hurt physically and emotionally.
I didn't mean to.
We shouldn't be here.
You know I am working on an escape, but we have to be smart, Anna.
We shouldn't be here.
We're not going to be here much longer. I am figuring out our escape.
I said we shouldn't be here. Not just here in this house. We shouldn't be here with you in charge. We should be with Papa in America.
I know you are scared.
No. You're weak.
You will not speak to me like this. I did not raise you to be so respectful, Anastasia. I am doing everything to protect you and keep you safe. Everything. You can't even understand. Everything.
Everything? You think I don't understand? I'm older now, Mama. Eleni actually sees me and talks to me, and she doesn't try to hide or sneak. We see the way we're looking at him. This man, this monster. Maybe I think he is handsome too. Maybe he will start to look at me like he looks at you.
Mary slaps Anna.
Think with your mind, Anna. I am allowing you to think, to be. Freedom to live your own destiny, not to be defined for your beauty. Beauty and youth are fleeting. You are not in charge when relying on these cursory qualities. When they are gone, they just disappear. Your mind, your thoughts, your freedom, these are aspirations to focus on. Even Medusa was beautiful once.
Medusa, I will think my way, not yours. Stuck in antiquity. Why are you always presenting these ideas like I care to replicate your experience? You don't listen to me. What I want, what I need.
You don't know what you need.
And you don't care to listen.
Oh, you cried so loud and now you are yelling.
I hate you.
You don't say that to your mother. The reason why it pains so deeply when a daughter doesn't love her mother is because I know in the future, when you become a mother, you will feel the weight of this. And when I am not there, there will be nothing you can do to ease the burden. You need to trust me.
How can I trust someone who lies? You never sent my letter. It was in the garbage.
Anna pulls out the sealed letter she wrote to her father that is now dirty and crumpled. Mary looks at it and places it in the book.
I can explain.
You've hit me twice in these last few moments. I don't need your words of explanation. I need your actions of love.
And there goes the little girl.
I have not been a little girl for a long time.
I know. And you are a smart woman to know that I lack in showing you actions of love in the way you need, as opposed to the capacity I have to give.
That's it.
That's all I can give you now, Anna.
Anna, holding back tears, exits the room. Mary, with with all her might, holds in tears until she is stone-faced. Scene 3. The same day, early evening, the front room of the kitchen. Hans enters the house. He's looking around for the book. Anna appears from the bedroom doorway. Hans notices her, but continues to look for the book.
Does your mother know you're here?
Does yours?
This stops him from searching for the book.
You're just like her.
And you like that?
What I like is none of your concern.
Maybe it should be. We are close in age. Seems closer than you and my mother.
I will give you this lesson since you are daring to be so bold. Do not speak to a man in uniform like this. We may be close in age, but we're worlds apart in experience. Now leave and get your mother.
I didn't mean to.
Anna exits. Hans goes to sharpen his knife at the kitchen table. Mary enters. Hans puts down his knife and goes to kiss her.
What's the matter?
You are never to be alone with Anna.
Mary, you believe me to be that way?
I do not know what to believe.
What did she tell you?
That she came to you, but you refused her?
Yes, so what is the problem?
What about the next soldier she sees? The gods will punish me for this. You invaded our home, and I have embraced you.
I love you.
This is not normal. This sick game we are playing out of our own desperation. We are drowned together because we are sick. I, an unfit mother, and you, a militant murderer looking for a home. We are not right, Hans. We are what's wrong with the world.
This is no game, Mary.
When you leave here, what you do out there, what do you do that makes your men look up to you?
Hans paces.
Do you know what I could do? Should do to you for saying that to me? What do you want? You want horror? Evil? Say that to the motherless boy who grew up to be his man, who killed another mother while watching a little boy endure the same loss. With these hands, I have done more than you could ever imagine.
Mary steps towards him.
Then show me.
You want me to be the monster? The nightmare that I endure out there every day? You want that in our home? You were everything. And now you want to be nothing. Any love, any kindness you brought out in me. You want the sinister, you want the darkness. You want the pain, and I will show it to you.
He takes the knife from the table.
That's it. Show me something real for once.
This is killing. When you use this, you feel the destruction of your action attached to your hand and the release of the person's exile here on earth. The guns we use in war are for weak soldiers who shoot at a distance.
He walks behind her.
You take a knife and slit a throat. That is power.
He is shaking. She takes his hand and lowers it, takes the knife and places it in her apron. Mary is back in control. They are starting up again in a moment of passion until Mary breaks it. She kisses his hands.
I am a mother, and I am holding her in this life to make myself happy for the gratification from a man who is acting like a monster. So really, it's me. I'm the monster.
You are not evil.
Yes, I am. I wanted to kill Anna. I almost did right after she was born. I do not have the capacity for care. I do not feel like a mother. And it angered Vasilis more than you could imagine. He left me alone with her so many times. It was enraging, as if he was testing to see if I would do it, to prove him right that I am vile. As a baby, she cried all the time, screaming in terror for being left with me. And she was right. I could have done it. I would have done it if Eleni hadn't walked in and taken me from her arms. I would be worse than you. I call you a monster because I know what it's like to turn into one, with all the capacity for evil to survive.
Your love is the only compassion in me.
It's not enough. There are not enough butterflies.
What?
There aren't enough butterflies to save to make us deserve any goodness.
Hans goes to his bag and pulls out papers. He hands them to Mary.
But I can save you.
What is this?
Freedom. Transit papers to get you on a merchant ship bound for Alexandria. The British are there. You will be safe or find your way to America. But wherever you go, I'll find you when this war is over, and we will make a home.
And for Anna and Eleni?
This is a gift for you.
You cannot ask me to make such a choice.
I'm not asking you to do anything. I leave it as a parting gift. I cannot return to this place. The general has grown suspicious,
I understand.
and I can't protect you.
I don't need your protection. I just wanted it.
If your want is all the good I deserve, then I am thankful.
As am I.
One last thing,
Mary kisses him.
then one more thing. The book. I need it back.
I was enjoying the escape of stories.
We are writing the only story that matters.
Mary goes to give him the book. He takes it from her.
Writing, not written. I will always admire your optimism.
From the goodness of your love, I see possibility. You give me strength.
He kisses her hands, goes to leave, gives Mary one last look and leaves. Mary, staying strong, looks down and notices the knife in her pocket. She picks it up and holds the knife to her heart, gently grazes it across against her neck in a sensual way, then kisses it. Scene 4, the next day. The Nazi base camp outside Kaliningrad. Hans enters Otto's office at the base camp,
The book, Herr General.
taking the book.
Did you learn anything from it?
I have learned of life, love, passion, lust, joy, war, anger, sorrow, bitterness, vengeance, all the things that make up humanity.
Otto starts rifling through the book.
All that from these pages.
And from my life experience. And while I may have tried to escape my fate or change it, I am more Achilles than Eros.
Hans starts to stand, and as Otto lowers the book, Anna's letter falls out.
That's mine.
Hans goes to retrieve it, and Otto swipes it before he
The
can.
book is mine. Our father may have given you life, but I tried to give you opportunity! If only your whore mother's influence didn't take over, you'd recognize that you were in the presence of greatness. But such stupid, raw, animalistic desires distract you from building empires.
Your opportunity looks more like a vendetta, which you have confirmed my theory all along.
Which is,
Sibling rivalry.
Hans charges Otto, reaches for his knife, realizes he left it with Mary. Otto pulls out his gun.
I am not your Hector.
He fires and kills Hans. Scene 5, that night, the front room. The same song Hans was singing earlier is heard outside. Mary rushes to the door as she is talking.
Hans, I didn't mean our story was over.
As she opens the door, she sees in horror that it is not Hans, but Otto, who violently slaps her out of the way.
Who else is here?
No one. Where is Hans?
Dead. Look,
Mary's in shock.
I know there must be someone else. It couldn't possibly be you. Could it? But you're so worn. Weary, sad, it's pathetic. A stupid soldier for this. No matter. It all ends now.
Anna enters.
Mama?
Otto looks over Anna lustfully.
Now I understand. You must be the siren that bewitched him away from the right. Huh?
Otto grabs Anna and rips her dress. Eleni comes in screaming to save Anna. Otto strikes her down. Eleni wails in agony, but this momentary distraction allows Mary to grab Hans's knife. Mary jumps onto Otto and slits his throat. Otto fights to breathe. The three women stand over him. He dies. Mary springs to action.
You have to leave.
Mary goes to a drawer and takes the transport papers that Hans gave her. He hands them to Anna.
What is this?
Transport papers. It's a 2 days walk to Piraeus. The merchant ship will take you there to Alexandria. The British are there. Tell them you are Greek. Tell them you are fleeing to America where your father lives.
I don't know how to do that. I can't. I won't leave Thea.
She looks to Eleni, who is still on the ground. Mary hurries to put a bag of food and clothes together for Anna.
Thea, please get up.
I can't, my love. And she is right. You have to leave.
She starts unbuttoning the top of her dress to reveal the jewelry from the dress ribbons.
We figured it was safest with me since I'm the one who can keep her clothes on. Take it all.
Eleni hands the jewelry to Anna.
It's meant for you, but save some of it for when you get to America. Buy a beautiful dress and go to a ball, my love. Fall in love. Be loved. Get married.
I don't know where to go. I don't want to leave. Nina, I hate you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You don't say sorry to me. My love for you would always forgive you. That is the love of a mother. I love you unconditionally, no matter what. I am sorry. You always deserve better than me. But please, just go now. Be strong, stronger than me. Save yourself and live. I trust you know how to live. I know you know how. Now go, out the back door.
Mary shoves the bag into Anna's arms and grabs a coat off the rack and throws it over Anna's shoulders. Anna goes over to Eleni and hugs her for too long.
Go, Anamu. I love you. Goodbye.
I love you, Thea.
Mary helps Anna get up.
And when you get to America, ask for Alexandros Koussoulis and tell him you are Vasilis Skinas's daughter. Hurry, there is no more time.
I love you, Mom.
I love you.
Mary kisses Anna hard on the forehead. They have a final embrace. Anna exits. Mary watches her daughter. Her breath catches. She looks down at Eleni.
The fates have an interesting sense of humor.
Or an interesting way of resolving our destiny.
Mary helps Eleni up to a chair and takes the tablecloth from the dining table and covers Otto's body. Finally, Mary sits next to Eleni. They sit in silence for a moment.
I love you, Mary.
I know.
Will you say it back?
Yeah.
I will.
You better hurry up then. Time is not on our side.
No, it's not. But if it were,
Mary takes a handkerchief out of her pocket and puts it over her face, just under her eyes, like a mask.
I think we would be getting ready for a masquerade. I would be Antiope, and you would be my sister, Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons, getting ready for battle.
I would be your sister.
Yeah.
Who helped you raise your daughter so we can end this era of despair and illusion, so she can live and not just dream in an era that is a happy life, free from our burdens.
Mary lowers her handkerchief.
You've always been the better half. And I love you for it.
There is German shouting at the door. Mary and Eleni take each other's hands. Mary begins to sing Samiotessa.
Samiotisa, Samiotisa.
The lights begin to fade as the soldiers and singing crescendo. Blackout. End of play.
talk back. It's not talk back, dialogue. Let's have a dialogue. Excellent. Well done. Well done. Well done. Chin. All right. So, to begin, will all the veterans in active duty please stand? Jonathan. Will all the wives, husbands, widows of veterans please stand? Okay. No applause, please. No applause. Will the daughters, sons, and of veterans please stand? Will the nephews, nieces, and grandfathers, grandmothers please stand? Nieces and nephews, children, the children of the veterans, active duty. Who have I missed? Friends of the veterans. Right? You are a grandson.
Yeah, I don't think you say grandson.
I didn't, well, I blew it. All right. Is everyone standing? Yes? Everyone is standing. Right? Okay. All right. Thank you. So, I forgot to say at the very beginning, this is a Returning Soldiers Speak event, so thank you very much for coming.
Start over.
Start over. All right. I did the standing thing. Give us one more applause for the day. This is inspired by real events. Inspired with a lot of poetic,
took it.
a lot of poetic license here. I don't issues with that for those people. And so this is part of Denah's, the Greek side of her family. Can you tell me a little bit?
There's a lot to the story, but part of the truthful piece is that my great-grandmother Mary, her sister Eleni, and there's actually two daughters, my grandmother Denah, who I'm named after, Selena, and Adeiro. And there was a moment where the Nazis took over their household. They were very wealthy in Greece, and they had one of the bigger houses, and they just relegated them to like a tiny room in the house. And all I know is something happened, and I never met my great-grandmother or her sister because they did die in the war, not in this moment in the actual story, at a later time. But it was just always fascinating to me, like what that must have been like to be in a house occupied by Nazis at that time. And there's not a lot in like Greece. It was like decimated during World War II. It was like very hit hard because of the guerrilla tactics, so they were hard to take over. So like a lot of people don't understand how hard the war was on the people.
And so Denah had told me about this story briefly, and then we're going to have it. I was going to do another project, and we work with veterans a lot. And I wanted to bring the family of veterans and the veterans together in the same room in the same project, because for me, sometimes there's a disconnect between, even within that culture, the disconnect between the veterans and the family of veterans. And I wanted to, again, kind of build that bridge. So this was a wonderful opportunity because I didn't know so much about the German occupation of Greece. So I learned a lot. And Jim has been a wonderful dramaturg throughout this process. And this is a work in progress. that's part of the whole. We actually said, can you write a play in 3 months? Well, yeah, I can do that. But then again, this is the wonderful foundation of a play, right? So I also was like, oh yeah, this and that to build upon. This is her first full-length play that she's written. So one of the things that Denah wanted to explore and that we've been exploring is how humanity actually exists in wartime. So one of the questions is how we view the enemy. At the end of the day, we all want the same things, right? So how do we view the enemy in such a situation, and how do we convince another to accept our point of view that's opposing? So let's open it up. How do we, from what you saw with the play and also from your own life experience, how do we view the enemy? How do we view the enemy? Keith?
Well, in this instance, it's obviously Mary views the enemy as a way to survive. It's the only way to survive, because obviously the Nazis are a bad enemy to have. And they conquered this place. So in order for her and her family to survive, she had to make certain sort of concessions. It was a battle for survival.
I'm sorry, what?
It was a way for her to survive, was to have to take up with the enemy.
Denah and I have a common background, and I also had my mother's house taken over in Samos from grief loan, but luckily they moved on. They did not buy the house, and they moved on. So we fell upon that about a month ago. But I do love this play in so many ways. I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, I'm so proud of you. I'm so thrilled to be your friend. But I think, look, I have great animosity towards, Nazis and fascists like we all do, I think, I hope. But it's deeper with me because of my mom who just passed away, and she, faced that and heard the boots coming into town in Samos and all that, and she was without bitter. But about your work, it's like you did give me, yeah, they are human. She was trying to survive with them. I get how she, played along to protect in this, unusual situation, this unimaginable situation. So, you brought a little humanity to them, and that's fair enough. That's what art does, right? But still have great animosity toward them still. So I'm not shaking that. But wonderful work and thrilled. Wow, what a foundation indeed.
Eric?
Just great writing. Really, the scenes between the two men. There's just there's humor there. There's a clear hierarchy, but it's also a question, and just there was a beautiful scene when the sisters realized that they can't carry on the way that they've been carrying on, just full of heart and no cliches, which we're so used to, especially in stories of war that we think we know. And you brought something fresh, and also I didn't know where it was going, even though these are traditional bad guys and traditional victims, and you didn't play them like that at all. Because you didn't, it made it something that I was much more invested in than I would have been.
I found what you're exploring is that it's harder to put yourself out to understand the enemy, be it the physical enemy that's opposing, or the person that you've known your whole life. And when you're in a moment where you're forced to, I feel like that's why this is a play. Putting your humanity sort of on the line when the result is so uncertain is a lot harder than just taking somebody over, than just saying, I hate you, I want to kill you, but truly trying to understand them, because potentially have a mirror that will reflect towards you in that process of trying to understand. It is a really really complicated question that I feel like this play brings up in many ways: mother, daughter, lover, enemy, officer, sister. So really well done.
With what's being said is like somehow when we're faced with these kind of situations, we really have to dig deep to bring out that humanity, to bring out that compassion. I mean, how on earth could Mary or any of them, actually on all the sides, have compassion to the enemy? But I wonder if that's how. I don't know. Is that how we can change? What the division.
And also the enemies within ourselves.
Yes. And with that, as with mythology, as you work on it, where are the enemies within the mythology? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Very interesting. Dave.
Yes, thank you. Your writing did an excellent job of showing the ambiguities that we have to live with as human beings, and that sometimes desperate people have to do desperate things to survive.
Point out that she was a woman who was totally abandoned by her husband. Just, and the daughter hero worships him, and she's got a, between these two, and then the sister, who she's caring for, turns against her because there's a Nazi in the house, never a good thing, and she's bereft, and all she wants to do is keep her child alive. And the kid's giving her a hard time until the very end. And at the very end, you see this, they're going to be, I think, annihilated by the soldiers coming in.
Excellent. See, you don't even have to show it. We know.
No.
1 second, Brian.
I just, it's fantastic work, and I know I've got a little bit of a sneak peek of some of this earlier on, but it's elements I love about it so much. There's this cultural clash between the Nazis and the Greeks. I think they really bring to life in a lovely way. I love the humanity of it. I love sympathizing with the Nazi to a certain degree too, and that in itself is kind of a little bit wonderful, I guess, too. You're like, these are human beings too, and they have their own needs, and just like the sense of sacrifice, resentment, and the control dynamic between these different characters. I think you really did that in a really lovely way, and the pace was great. So it's fantastic.
Great. And also Brian is part of the project, and he has a play the fifth week, correct? Yeah, our fifth reading. You have to come back.
Come back.
Yeah, his is also very interesting. Not to take this limelight from you, but I want to just they're classmates together. So, Bill.
Yeah. I think you're onto something, and I hope that you pursue it.
She will.
I think very few of us know what it's like to live under occupation. Being in a household is actually, we can project, and we're living in a country right now that we can really come real close to it. We feel like we're close to it. But the complexity of living underneath that, with a woman, what you're writing is a woman that really wants to save her daughter and her family, but also at the same time a woman who's also attracted to art. And that to me was the most intriguing thing about it. And I urge you to pursue that, because the story is there, and I think the story is with the girl that leaves to America. That obviously leads to you.
Yeah.
Personally. And I think that's where the story
She did escape.
And yeah, exactly. But that's where the story is, and what that looks like in the world you want to create. That gives that objective, that objective, and the ejection of that person who creates to the U.S. But that I really think is where your gem is. I think it's right in there. So as you develop it, that's really where I think the story is. So I just wanted to add the names. You've got a couple of nice comments about that in there. That's it for me.
I'm sorry, 1 second. Did you understand what he said? Yes.
Hi. Great.
Thank you.
There is a moment, it's really quick,
piggybacking off what Brian said, where the Nazi dude is talking to you, and Nazis all about master race and stuff, but you're like, wait, not so fast, I'm Greek. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the Nazi is actually being educated, and he's learning about Greek mythology and all that, and that is, I don't know, it's very subtle, but I like that shit. I like that, playing against, the so-called superiority, and I thought it was really good writing. It was very subtle.
Delaney is an incredible playwright. Thank you.
Very, very good.
Excellent. So another question. What does it mean to sacrifice oneself with the hope, faith, belief the future will be brighter? Yes?
Yeah, I guess in context of this play, Mary believes that her sacrifice of herself and her body to Hans is what's going to save her daughter and her family. But it ends up being like Hans dying, and then, yeah, I don't know. It's Mary sacrificing her own dignity, but she also had sacrificed it already by being with Hans. But her pouncing on your character's name, Otto, was like, oh, she's she's badass, right? Well, we already kind of knew that. So I don't know. It is very complex.
Because actually, in a way, it's interesting when you say that she sacrifices herself for Otto, but does she? But in a way, she this is the first. As we've explored her character, this is the first time that she's really actually experienced love, because she was a child and married to an older man. So this is the first time that she's felt anything like this. So is that a sacrifice? That's a very interesting question. But I think for me, yeah, that's an interesting question.
And I think that's what she thinks she's doing by being with Hans, because she's like, you have to do whatever you can with the enemy. But I think to your point, it's also like, but I've never had somebody actually love me before, so I'm gonna take advantage of this too.
Yeah. Joe, I can hear you thinking.
Yeah, no, was there a point when were you in love with him?
I think so. I did want there to be a level. It's like, I don't know how to explain this, but not everybody gets the fairy tale. Not everybody gets to live, and there's no judgment. But people lead all sorts of different lives. What everybody life has a purpose and a meaning. You want to believe, but also what does it mean that Eleni, never just her life is that at the end of her life she sacrifices to me, and the future is brighter for the daughter, Anna.
Right.
If the world is going to hell, and Mary's I can either take the ticket for myself or no, I believe the future will be brighter with my daughter, that she should live on, something like that. That's also a level of sacrifice.
So essentially, she sacrificed everything: the relationship with her sister, her own dignity, if you will, and her lover. She's all about sacrifice.
Yeah.
I think that answers your question.
Mm-hmm. But she tells him, "You're not going to be here someday, and I'll be here. You'll go back." So no, she did what she had to do, and it wasn't half bad. But she's free, and she's going to stay there when the Nazis are gone. And I like that, because she wasn't really like his slave. She took pleasure where she could. And, he's going to go, and I'm Greek, and I'm staying here, and I'm going to save my daughter. And I thought she was very strong.
And
Sandy?
I think she has complicated feelings about dignity in herself, especially when it comes to being a mother, in that monologue where you express remorse for not being able to have the love that the love a mother typically does for a young child, you viewed yourself as like a monster even before they showed up. And so perhaps like, I don't know if that's where you're going, but that's what allows you to take this chance. And you happen to catch feelings, I guess, that wasn't the intention, you said at the beginning, right, to have a plan, right? A loose plan, but it worked out, but you were able to execute on it because of how terrible of a worldview you have of yourself. And I think that moment just really doubled down on the complexity of your character.
And it's also like when you're the grandchild of, and I know my grandmother's still alive, she's 94, thank God. But it's like, you can't have any problems because your grandmother was in the war. so just like, you can't, no. So it's just like, there's, because of the sacrifice of your ancestors or the generations before, you feel this responsibility of leading a good life, of being happy, of all of those things because that sacrifice lives in you.
So that's something to explore. Yes?
More Greek observations and thoughts, but first of all, today is Greek Independence Day, so so it's kind of a big deal to Greek Americans, and so it's kind of odd that this is the day of this reading. But I think there's something obviously probably like me, you more Greek literature, more the Odyssey, more things like the great books were than maybe others, and so I feel that this is a very Greek structure. Like it feels like Aeschylus or Sophocles. There's definitely a big Greekness to it. It's very tragedy, which I think is wonderful. So it's very modern, feels very grounded, feels very human. But then there's this big dramatic, structure around it, which I feel. So definitely, I wouldn't lose that. I don't know, just because I'm a Greek nerd, I don't know, but I think it's pretty wonderful. And quick note to all the actors, like you guys were like unbelievably great, all of you. And so it was like, wow, you guys brought to life on this, stage. So
Should we tell them?
I'm a big fan.
One time that we read through. Should we tell them that? Go ahead. And this was actually the first time that we read through it all the way through.
Surprise!
I'm doing what? Dave, you have something to say?
Yes, in the environment in which I grew up as a child and a teenager, I felt occupied. So in that way, I can relate, although not as a soldier ever, but as someone who was used and manipulated to create the world that other people wanted to create. In that way, it was an occupation, and I can relate personally to the story in that.
Universal. Jim, you have anything to say about process or anything? You've been very involved in this.
I just think that when Denah sort of presented this idea, I was just struck that it was just so insightful and so brave and so because I feel like I'm one of those people, like theater is kind of my church, and I feel like that's where salvation is, and that's where we really learn a way through. And this idea to bring together two people who are just, who should never be, right? Whose lips should never touch, and to make us see, make us try and understand that, in a world where we're living right now, where, we don't talk to family members anymore. There's, we've excommunicated lifelong friends, and so this idea that you want to present something that has a bridge in it, a really complicated sort of, no, there is connection. It is, terrain that can be navigated carefully if we care enough, if we want to take the time. And I just think I think Hans and Mary are just so brave in their total fucked up dysfunction. You know, they both come at it with like one tiny little thread that they can offer of connection, you know, and it doesn't last very long, right? It's just like, but it exists, and that's, you know, just in the kind of in the macro, I just feel like that's what theater does, right? It allows us to sit together and see the possibility of healing and of understanding. And you just, I mean, it was really just it's a huge, brave story to tell. And, you know, and you just did a really wonderful job. And I'm just so excited to see how it continues to develop. And it just has a lot to say. It's super relevant right now. I feel like it is timeless because this is human. We're always going to be this horrible and this victimized and need this much redemption and this kind of...
And this beautiful too.
Yeah.
So, do you I know we get to huddle here.
I've never done this before.
Isn't it wonderful? Any other comments? Yes.
Yeah, I think to Bill's point about this relationship between Hans and Mary, I think because I'm personally used to stories of like if this was a forbidden love and I heard Nazi, I would automatically think a Jewish person, right? Like something forbidden, just in terms of that contrast and that spectrum. And so I think having a better understanding of what it means that there is a Nazi occupying the Greek Christian household in this time period and what the stakes of that are without it being like super over explanatory, but I don't understand that as that well automatically coming in. But I think that knowing more so how forbidden that is, and then I think that speaks to when they actually do get physical in the piece. Because like I can see it coming from a mile away, but I also don't know if that was intentional or if that was supposed to be the case. So that was just something that I was just kind of curious more about what are the stakes there? Why are the stakes so high? Obviously, there is still a husband out there, and it's forbidden, but also having a greater, deeper understanding of that coming into it.
Very good.
I'm actually half Jewish, but the other half is not Jewish, and that is the Nazi story.
Right.
Agreed. So before we close, I'd like to shout out to Keith Jarabotska. He was in the interview process when we were like selecting the playwrights and that kind of thing, and did a great job. And he is directing. The next week is Selfless, written by a Marine who is deployed to Afghanistan, and you know the Hurt Locker who did the bombs. Greg Hillman, that's what he did in Afghanistan. And then the week after is The Park, A Dystopian World. Keith is directing that one, and it's written by Benjamin Fortier, who was in high school in 9/11 and convinced his parents to let him enlist at 17, and 10 days after he was graduated, he was at Ellis Island, and he fought in Fallujah. He was a Marine who fought in Fallujah in 2006. So this is what we do. And then Joe Garcia is going to be directing our last three. Brian is one of them. A POW is a great play. And then written by another one. Jonathan is going to be in the, what is this, the trumpet sound? The Killing to the Sound of...
Killing to the Sound of Trumpets.
Yeah, Killing to the Sound of Trumpets. It's actually kind of another love story. Jonathan is going to be in that. And our last one is written by Lisa Rose. She's the wife of a 29-year-old Air Force who is also deployed, and her play explores, is the current state of our country worth sacrificing one's life for? So they're all very wonderful. I hope you come back, and also because of the landscape and everything, if this is free, if you have any ability to donate anything, we would greatly appreciate anything, but most of all, you are here, and thank you so very much. Anything else?
Thank you.
Anything else? Anything else? Anything else?